Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. And I'm on Jan Ki Baat live after long, I would say a very long interval. And I'm very, very delighted as I speak to you. If you can, yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'm extremely delighted because the fight for justice, which the people of India were united, and it was led by a lot of fine gentlemen in this country. It was spearheaded by Annamalai in Tamil Nadu, the BJP Tamil Nadu president. It was supported by dharmic warriors like JVC Sriram and Sriram Shishadri, and every person in this country united to ask for justice for Lavanya and to ask for a free and fair and impartial probe. And I can tell you that the Madras High Court, the Madhurai bench of Madras High Court, has given a tight slap on the face of every liberal fraud which tried to uh, collude with the political nexus in Tamil Nadu in order to color the probe, in order to give the communal angle, and in order to shy away from probing the possibility of a forced conversion angle, which was in fact the prayer of the parents of the late Lavanya. And so Sriram and Sriram Shishadri, JVC and Sriram, welcome to Jan Ki Baat. I would have, Sriram was with me on the show, which was done on 26th of January, after which the liberal media was biting its nail, thinking, what do they do? But at the end of the day, justice prevailed, Sriram. Sriram, the learned additional public prosecutor in Para 9, was tried to fault the conduct of the petitioner and was trying to say that, I read it here, he was trying to completely shy away from putting out or at least investigating the forced conversion angle. The court has said that it will be wrong on this part to deny or completely deny that there was an attempt to convert the child forcibly in Christianity. Now, all the angles of Lavanya probe will be probed by the CBI. What do you want to say in that fraud? Liberal cabal media in Tamil Nadu, which tried to do spaces in order to justify that there is no other angle in the DM, and the police in Tamil Nadu will do everything when the SP did not even bother to take the prayer of the parents into account.
First and foremost, Pradeep, I should thank you. I should thank Jan Ki Baat. I should thank India TV News, because you guys were the first one who brought Sri Annamalai onto your show, made an interview, and blew up the whole thing. And factually, we countered the liberal media. And after that, everybody woke up. Everybody woke up after that. But still, the Tamil media was in deep slumber, was in a denial. They were trying one after another. They tried everything possible. They said, here is Annamalai trying to create communal angle. Here is Annamalai going and giving gifts to that girl. Everything was tried. In fact, there were people who were even trying to say that Annamalai is losing this battle and he will be stripped off the presidency of BJP in Tamil Nadu. But every one of them have egg on their face today, Pradeep. Bhai, everybody have egg on their face today. If there is one politician in Tamil Nadu, if there is one media man in Tamil Nadu who has the guts, let him come and face us now. Aaj abhi isi waqt. If they have guts, let them come and face here. They don't have the face to show off here. They peddle lies. They edited videos. What was available on the police custody, those videos were selectively shown.
I remember you had gone to these so-called neutral and liberal channels which did not give you the equal amount of time to air your views, and they wanted to ensure that before the Madurai bench of Madras High Court gives the verdict on the CBI probe, which was the prayer of Shishadri ji, which was the prayer of the parents, they could somehow color the entire intent of the parents. Now they have completely, as Sriram rightly said, they don't have facts. They can't, now face people like Sriram and others. They have egg on their face. But why did they go? I'll tell you why did they go so far. Because for the first time in late history of Tamil Nadu in the last 10 years, I would see a BJP politician spearheading, irrespective of the entire chakravyuh of the DMK media in Tamil Nadu. He was spearheading the justice probe. He was there on the streets. It united the people across in the country. It was raised in the Hindi media for the first time by us. It gauged national attention. It could not be burnt under the carpet, which these people were trying. And I think I would completely give the credit to Annamalai and the entire team on this.
Good evening, Pradeep. Yeah, good evening, Pradeep. I think in Tamil Nadu, this is not the first time similar thing is happening. I would like to recall in 2006, Omalur Shuganya case, almost similar. In that case, she was probably murdered also and then found to be closing the case as a suicide. That time also DMK was in power. And public outrage, public agitation, which actually forced CBI to find out that the girl child was molested and gang raped by several people who are pastors in that particular school, and they have not been put to justice yet. But I think this time Annamalai took this case very, very, without any hesitation, and went after justice for the girl. For the information of the viewers, this girl's parents and father was a long-term member of the DMK party, and he didn't care about which party or anybody belonged to. He wanted a justice for the girl who had went through this torture in the hands of the warden and others. And rightly said by JVC Shriram that the police took immediately, brushed aside all the complaints given by the parents, saying that she was tortured and traumatized by the conversion angle. And the police went on to say that she even went to the extent of the guy who shot the video went to the extent of threatening that person. That's what the court, Madras High Court, Madurai bench today observed, that the SP of Tanjore, the judge actually put the blame on the SP of Tanjore for misleading the entire investigation process, and that's why outside agency that is required to find the real truth. The real truth would be justice to this, not only to this girl, but also if dug deeper, there is going to be a lot of skeletons that may come out of it. I think that is what is going to be the.
I completely agree, and I want to read JVC on para 6 in the order. If you read the Kartike Venkat Chalapati, who was the learned counsel who was appearing for the petitioner, that is the parent, said that the petitioner has completely lost faith in the state police. Now, by ordering of the CBI investigation, it has been completely proven that the court also believes that the state police cannot do a free and fair probe, JVC. It cannot
exactly. Do. It cannot. It cannot. It has lost because the day one, he's saying it. The superintendent of police does not, she does not have to convene a press conference. In fact, the judge is asking why the press conference was required. And in the press conference, it is the responsibility of the superintendent of police to say that we shall cover every aspect and every angle. Law cannot be, justice cannot be one-sided. And what I would appreciate the judge today is that the speed and alacrity with which he had given this judgment. He had not sat on it. He is firm. He is a man filled with conviction. And he says, and he quotes also the Supreme Court instances where in extreme cases only CBI involvement is required. But this case deserved CBI investigation. There is no two ways about it.
JVC, what are those frauds in the Tamil Nadu media doing who tried to cover up the entire thing? Are they calling you today or not, or are they completely scared and they're not able to digest what has happened?
I think Seshadri would say that. Different topics.
They just went on to an entirely different topic, which is BJP and ADMK not contesting together in the local body election. So that has become more prominent. Tomorrow it's going to be budget, so that they think that people will forget. I don't think people are going to forget this.
So I think this is an inflection point. JVC, if you ask me, this is an inflection point, and I'll tell you why this is an inflection point. This is an inflection point because for the first time in the last 7 years, when the entire the liberal media came together to bracket truth as falsehood, the people of this country did not let it happen in Tamil Nadu. It has happened across the country at different other places. I remember taking the Justice for Narendra Giri movement forward, ordering a CBI for Narendra Giri. It happened. Now in Tamil Nadu, it is not. It is rare when you see the entire Tamil Nadu media coming together, and despite of that, the justice and the judge do not buckle up and order a free and fair probe. That is why I think it is completely different. Number two, why do I think it is completely different? Because in the recent past, I have not seen a BJP politician taking the DMK government head on, taking the DMK narrative head on. That is point number two, why this is an inflection point. Point number three, why this is an inflection point, that Justice for Lavanya did not remain a Tamil Nadu-centric justice campaign. It became a nationwide justice campaign. We've seen nationwide justice campaigns emerge from Delhi, Bihar, UP, but rarely have we seen that the Hindi media and across linguistic boundaries that justice campaigns have covered. This particularly from Tamil Nadu have emerged. I think this is where it was a difference. differentiator. And because of these 1, 2, 3, the entire cabal went against Annamalai, went against all of you. JVC.
Exactly. See, I think if it was not picked up by Annamalai, if it was not picked up by Sri Annamalai, then this would not have seen the end of the day. The light would not have been come, because this did not happen for Omalur Suganya. As Mr. Sriram Seshadri said, even at this point in time, we need to also understand, for the national media, I just want to say, Omalur Suganya was the dead body of the 17-year-old Dalit girl was found in the well of the school. And it was told that she had committed suicide in 2006, and DMK was ruling at that point in time. And what happened was, there were protests. After protests, the CBCID started investigating. They said it was not a suicide, it was a murder, and they had found sperm in the postmortem. And they had listed the people who were involved in the suspected rape. At that point in time, a pastor's name was also included. No action had been taken till date. The moment Mr. Annamalai and BJP released that, tweeted that video, which showed the fact of Suganya case and said, Lavanya cannot be another Suganya. That is when the entire nation woke up. They woke up when he picked up, but it turned into a momentum, and the Tamil media went on a silence. And I want to tell you, Pradeep, I think Mr. Sriram Seshadri would also speak about it when he went to a media house on Friday. And what was he subjected to, he will tell you. But let me tell you what I was subjected to in a national channel. 1 hour interview. Mr. Saravanan's points were telecasted, retelecasted, tweeted, YouTubed. The same points which were raised by the judge today, the SP's statement, the education minister's statement, Geeta and other minister's statement, and what the media has been going on telling. And when I raised those points, and when Mr. Narayan Tripathi, the BJP spokesperson, raised those points, conveniently, they did not even broadcast or telecast.
Are you serious?
100%, I swear.
Yeah.
And I went and tweeted. I WhatsApped that anchor saying, you did the show. Why are you not showing what I have said? And hardly few people watch their live program. They did not upload it in YouTube. This was my experience, Pradeep. And Sriram Seshadri will share his experience when he went and how the issue was diverted.
And these people consider themselves to be independent, quote unquote neutral, quote unquote fair, quote unquote just, quote unquote harbingers of justice, but they are nothing but frauds.
Absolutely.
That is the truth. People like us at least take a stand because we believe that truth has a stand. Truth needs to be called out. Truth is either black or white. It cannot be black and white both. So either you say that you have colluded with the people who do not want justice for Lavanya because of your private financial benefits, or say that you have political compulsions not speaking about justice for Lavanya, we can understand. But to call yourself as harbingers of justice and truth and do spaces around it and how color the entire pro, I think these people should apologize to the people of India. Sriram, Seshadri.
Absolutely, you're right, Pradeep. You know, similar thing happened to me in the Tamil media when I went on Friday to talk about this. I was 1:4. I was defending, or rather, I was actually talking for justice, and I'm not, I'm not giving any allegation about, it's a conversion or something. Just do the fair inquiry and justice for the girl who lost the life. But the entire opposition the entire camp in that particular discussion was going on discrediting the mother, discrediting the party, Annamalai, and saying that
these are the same people, Sriram Seshadri, sorry to interrupt you. These are the same people who went, who talk about victim shaming. These are the same people who talk about victim shaming. These are the same people who, when in the case of Uttar Pradesh, JVC Sriram, in the case of Kuldeep Singh, who was suspended from the Bharatiya Janata Party, in which the CBI was ordered, and it was the government of it was the CBI which even arrested Kuldeep Singh in the start. These people still could not satiate. And here, The police was doing pure victim shaming. There was an entire campaign to discredit the claim made by the petitioner, which was the parent who had the petition under section 482 of the CRP, just asking for seeking of transfer investigation. Now, if anybody as a parent seeking justice for the daughter wants this transfer of investigation in order to ensure that free and fair probe happens, why was there an entire campaign? Which means that Annamalai and everybody else also troubled the big political powers in Tamil Nadu. Sriram, JVC.
Yeah, I think Sriram Seshadri wants to say something. Let me just.
I was just concluding, Pradeep, that that show was concluded by calling names of my caste and then my casting aspersions about my community and calling them as shaming and naming that community. In fact, that is the level they stoop to. That's the level they stoop to, because they couldn't face the truth. They couldn't face the facts that was placed on the table, and then they didn't have an argument. JVC, I think you can continue on the question.
100%, you're right, Pradeep. This was something which was the media was waging a war against Mr. Annamalai. They were putting.
I remember there was also a hashtag which said arrest Annamalai, go after Pradeep Bhandari. Pradeep Bhandari is a fraud and all of it. I remember, yeah.
Exactly. And what happened? Pradeep, you should know this. You should know this truth. The viewers should know this truth. A journalist whom I respect, even today I respect, but that journalist on the night before puts that tomorrow morning I'm going to come out with an explosive video which will talk about the truth. An exclusive video. These were the two words used. Explosive. It was a WhatsApp forward video. It was already in possession with so many people. And why was such a build-up required? And the same people who were against the journalists, they picked up the story and went and told everywhere that arrest Annamalai. This is what was happening.
JVC, now I want to also focus on the way forward. Now, we have completely said this has been an inflection point. Now, the point is way forward. As CBI takes the entire probe, how do you see this going forward? Has this done two things? It has also given a shockwave to those in Tamil Nadu media who thought that whatever they say is gospel truth, and they can even make falsehood as truth. I challenge these people in Tamil Nadu media, if they have guts, debate with Pradeep Bhandari. If they have guts, call me and call JVC. You can go ahead and even speak in Tamil, but I challenge them to come and debate on Lavanya. Come and debate on how you lied on Lavanya. But having said that, what is the way forward, JVC? Because now CBI takes it over. For me, the biggest point of focus is the focus on the forced conversion angle. The investigation should also investigate and inquire that claim. JVC.
Definitely, yes. Because, in fact, in your show, I mentioned, they're not only converting people, they've converted a village. There is no Michael Patti is the name of the village. And the media and the people who are behind this particular thing and the IT wing of the ruling party went and collected, a memorandum from that village saying that we are not subjected to conversion without even a single signature. They were headlessly chickening it out. So as a result of which the CBI should investigate and should come out with the truth, or the schools, colleges, and the medical institutions and hub for conversion. Now, this is the question which I'm asking. This is the question. Because these are the places where
I would say forced conversion. I would say forced conversion. I would say conversion by duping, conversion for allurement. Sriram Seshadri, it's very important point raised by JVC. And I would say, but there is also a worry and a concern which I have. Will the local, as the CBI takes over the case, what if the local police has completely, allegedly destroyed the evidences which are there in order to conclusively prove different aspects? Because that has been the main bottleneck in a lot of cases which has been handed over to the CBI, that either the crime scene has been tarnished by the people who have nexus in order to ensure that justice is not delivered, or number two, that the evidences which are in place, those evidences are destroyed, or number three, those eyewitnesses in a case, those eyewitnesses are manipulated. How do you take care of these three aspects?
Okay, at least in this case, for the couple of things that we should know that the court has already recorded a dying declaration, which becomes a prominent evidence which cannot be destroyed. Okay, that is, and the Madras High Court Madurai bench has accepted a couple of videos that have been taken not under the judicial purview, but from outside of that as a possible dying declaration too. So it is only a corroborative evidence. So now the CBI has to go behind the motive of the particular warden who had actually given all this trouble and trauma to this child, and that is where the motive has to be explored. Rightly put it by you, saying that when the motive is explored, it should not just restrict only to this particular girl's traumatic condition and suicide, abetting to suicide, but also to a larger issue of whether this is happening at every school and hospitals, like JVC said. In fact, Ms. Jayalalitha, who was the chief minister, then brought in an anti-conversion law. She was forced to withdraw that law, but that particularly had that in hospitals and in public places and where the vulnerability exists, any arms given or any assistance given will be considered as a forced conversion or giving in lieu of conversion. I think that similar law should come back to Tamil Nadu, and more importantly, through this message, India should enact a law across the country, because every state has a different law for its own, but there should be a guideline force of enacting similar law, maintaining the social fabric of the country, and also to maintain the harmony in the society. This is a must as we speak today, Pradeep. CBI
And
will have a very tall challenge because NCPCR, which was stalled by the government. In fact, NCPCR had to go to public press statement that the state government is not allowing them to come in and then do the investigation. But today they are doing their investigation in the school and the authorities, investigation authorities. But CBI has a tall order, but they need to go back to the motive of this particular issue that has been happening.
And JVC, to a closing, it also proves one thing. Number one, that the education department had conducted an inquiry and had given clean chit to the school administration. This has now completely been termed as bogus, because the school administration as CBI investigates it, the role of the school administration will also be probed. Number two, the Learned Council pointed out that a high-ranking minister had given a public interview absolving the school authorities of the charge of conversion. So the political, which is now also been ruled out. So the political nexus to this alleged forced conversion racket in Tamil Nadu, can the CBI also look at that? Because maybe that might be the genesis of the abetment to suicide or suicide of Lavanya.
So I want to make one point very clear here, Pradeep, because you have brought in a very important point. Mr. Annamalai time and again has been saying it is not only to ensure that we get justice for Lavanya, but what happened to Lavanya should not happen to any other child, any other person. And that is what he means. Even yesterday in the press conference, after meeting the parents of the child, he said, we are not against any religion, we are not against any community, but we are against the act performed, and we do not want such acts to be performed again in the sand and soil of Tamil Nadu. Number two, they were the ones who were saying, DMK were the ones who were saying that BJP is playing politics. Now it stands exactly on their head. The judge's order today clearly shows that in order to win minority votes and in order to appease minority, the DMK party and its wing and its media has ensured that this conversion angle is not looked at. Because if it is looked at politically, it can have ramifications for the DMK and the Congress alliance in Tamil Nadu and across the country too.
Sriram Shishadri, 10 seconds.
I think, this is a tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. To start with, I think it's a long drawn game ahead of us, and this protest or the activism against similar thing should continue. And thanks to national media, Jan Ki Baat, for spearheading this. I think we should continue this, in my opinion, Pradeep.
I thank the Honorable Court for standing for justice. I thank every dharmic warrior for supporting. And in this fight for justice, this is the start, JVC and Sri Ram Shashadri. This is not the end. Jai Tamil Nadu. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. Bharat Mata ki Jai. Justice prevails. All of us have started the road to victory. Namaskar. Vanakkam.
Namaskar. Vanakkam. Thank you. Thank you very much.